The aim of my address this morning is to affirm your confidence in entering or expanding your operations in our market, and to ask and answer the question, what can we do for you and what can we do together? Our commitment to eradicating unemployment, poverty, hunger, disease, and inequality through the bottom-up economic transformation agenda gives us the opportunity to focus on effective strategies to deliver rapid and inclusive growth that is anchored on significantly enhanced productivity of millions of our citizens. To achieve this, we undertake and promote strategic investments in priority value chains within the following sectors, which are the strategic pillars of our plan: universal healthcare, food security, agro-processing, affordable housing, and you saw us sign one agreement here, micro, small, and medium enterprises, and of course, the big space around digital infrastructure. Investments to enhance the productivity of agro-value chains, accelerate the growth of export manufacturing and surplus food production, thereby creating employment opportunities in the agriculture sector and food sector. Apparels, as was mentioned by my good friend Senator Kuhn here, is a big space for us, and we have major capabilities in that space, and we have enhanced our tax incentives to facilitate more companies to set up camp and expand our access to the market to the US. Likewise, I am delighted to have this opportunity to share with you various opportunities to leverage the strong, enduring, and dynamic Kenya-US relations and further enhance investment and trade relations and partnerships between our business communities. This gathering comes just a month after the AmCham Summit 2024 in Nairobi. At that summit, US business leaders and entrepreneurs, many of them I see here, had a platform to connect and interact with their counterparts from Kenya and the broader Eastern Africa region. This event gives us yet another chance to reflect on the outcomes of the Nairobi AmCham Summit and deliberate on the ways by which we can inject momentum into the bilateral trade and investment agenda and catalyze synergies between Kenya and the US business communities. At the last month's AmCham Summit in Nairobi, 11 government-to-government and government-to-business deals were announced, while additional agreements were unveiled earlier in the week during my visit here in Atlanta. Today, I have witnessed the signing of yet another 5 deals at this event, leaving no doubt regarding the direction of our common endeavor and the shape of the future we are building together. We now have in Kenya a special economic zone in Thika that will focus on pharmaceutical manufacturing, and I invite companies who want to explore opportunities in that space. Aside from us giving incentives on buying from locally manufactured products, you have the benefit of access to the East African market of 300 million people, and by extension, using the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, access to 1.4 billion people. If you're looking for market, if you're looking for opportunity, there you are. Further, our commitment to enhance our technology ecosystem to attract big tech companies and promote the incubation and scaling up of startups has positioned Kenya's Silicon Savannah as Africa's premier ICT and digital innovation destination. Our digital superhighway program, which involves laying an extra 100,000 kilometers of last-mile fiber optic infrastructure and establishing digital hubs nationwide, aims to create a digital ecosystem to promote the uptake of digital services and digital products. Additionally, leveraging on our huge green energy potential, that enables Kenya to quickly become a global leader in the establishment of world-class green data infrastructure. You've seen this morning, we've just signed the deal which we have just witnessed between Microsoft, EcoCloud, and UAE G42 to build a 1 gigawatt data center using US technology, UAE capabilities, and Kenya's geothermal resources, demonstrating that the world is paying attention and investors like what they see in Kenya.
The truth is, the policies that President Ruto's administration is pursuing, his deep and abiding commitment to democracy, transparency, and the rule of law, and the entrepreneurialism of the Kenyan people, it's unlocking new opportunities, changing the narrative in Kenya and, quite frankly, on the whole continent. The thing I have heard over and over again throughout this week, and when I came back from Kenya and from the business leaders I took with me to Kenya, is this: I didn't realize how much opportunity there was. So that's the opening that we have to walk through. The door is open and we have to walk through. The work you're doing here today will help us chart a future of shared prosperity. Not aid, though we do need aid, but more investment, opportunity, entrepreneurship, and trade for sustainable economic development on the continent. So I feel that we have done so much, but honestly, we're just at the beginning. Under President Ruto's leadership, your leadership, what's happening in Kenya, the entrepreneurial activity in Kenya, Kenya is leading the way to change the narrative in Africa, in the whole continent. Kenya is a scene of optimism, democracy, rule of law, entrepreneurial young population, a culture that encourages risk-taking. That's a very big deal. It's not true everywhere. And increasingly, a desire on behalf of U.S. investors and entrepreneurs and tech companies to invest. And so I was there a month ago, as I said, and I felt it. I saw it firsthand. I took with me the President's Advisory Council on doing business in Africa. I met with women leaders in technology. I met with entrepreneurs. I met with the large U.S. multinationals, but I also met with venture capitalists. And the fact is, when I was reading my book, when I was preparing for the visit, I was told Kenya attracts 4 times as much venture capital per capita and in absolute terms than any other country in Africa. And after being there and experiencing it, I see why. I see why.
Google is partnering with Kenya on cybersecurity as they digitize government services, employing Google's cybersecurity shield to protect Kenyan e-citizens on their platform. And we're really proud that governments around the world are turning to Google's cybersecurity shield to defend against cyber attacks, an area in which we've invested for quite some time. And then finally, to unlock all of this, it's about talent and making sure that everyone everywhere has the ability to benefit from what is the technology and the opportunities that come. I spent most of my career in finance, and what I saw there is that you can't have sustainable economic growth if we do not ensure that we have inclusive growth. And so we are very proud to be expanding our digital training programs called Grow with Google. And what we've announced is that we're adding $15 million of training through our digital skilling program, our Digital Sprinters initiative, to ensure that everyone has access to the training that then gives them the opportunities that are available with this tech. We're really proud at Google that we started our journey in Kenya 17 years ago, which for Google was at the earliest days of our life as a company. We began with an investment in Kenya, our first office in Nairobi. And what we saw then, a young entrepreneurial population, a country that was focused on the possibilities of technology, that's even more profound today, as many of you in the room have witnessed firsthand. A hub of innovation in Africa, a digitally savvy workforce, a regional financial and logistics hub, and a leading destination for FDI and for venture capital. And so our announcements today from Google really continue this journey that we've been on with President Ruto and Kenya, and it's really in three key areas: connectivity, security, and skilling. And I'm going to quickly touch on each one of them. In terms of connectivity, reliable internet connectivity is the foundation on which we can unlock all the rest that I'm going to take you through. And this week we announced the construction of the first ever fiber optic route connecting Kenya and Australia. It's a terrestrial route that starts in Kenya, goes through Africa, then down to South Africa, then connects with a subsea cable to Australia. We've named this cable Umoja, which, for those of you who were not applauding, it's because you don't know Swahili, and in Swahili that means unity. And we think it is a very fitting name for our cable. We're really proud of what this does to help increase reach, reliability, resilience of digital connectivity on the African continent.